Hey guys, it's Jozy here, back again with another video. This one's a different one today. We've got one of our beloved clients, Abde, and he's just going to share his story with working with us. And yeah, I think it's going to be a sick video. And well, let's just start it off by giving us a small introduction about yourself, who you are, where you live, and like what company you're running at the moment.
Hey everyone, I'm Abde. I own an agency, so basically I'm working with other marketing agencies, helping them install client acquisition infrastructures in a done-for-you fashion. So I install the whole system for them, a cold system, and then I help them basically convert deposit responses into bookings on a completely done-for-you, and also do like consulting more on the sales part. So I'm from Paris. I joined Josiah like 7 months ago. Yeah, around 7 months ago. And in today's interview, we're going to talk about like my story a little bit more and show you guys like how it went for me personally. So what's interesting is that in my case, I actually had a 9 to 5 when I started the agency, and also like it was my second agency. Kind of a weird story, but we'll get into this very soon.
Perfect. I think we just started. I want to start it from the 9 to 5, right? I've worked a 9 to 5, um, and I want to start off. Where were you working, right? And why did you go from literally being work having a paycheck, a certified paycheck each and every single month, to then starting something like this, right? Starting a whole business. Why did you even like consider that?
Yeah, so basically, to be honest, like the story started like even longer ago. So when I was still studying, so basically I was studying like math, specifically, and I was kind of promised like for a engineering like AI engineering role, data science, all that stuff. So yeah, I was doing like my master's in machine learning at that time, and like I kind of like pretty much most of us here stumbled upon like Iman Gadzi's course and just like his brand as a whole. So I I, I like it was a big mindset shift for me at that time because I was like, okay, it's young guys out there are making a lot of money, etc. So I started like getting some kind of interest in entrepreneurship. So it was like 2020 or 2021, um, during COVID, etc. You guys know how it was. And so at that time, I just started. Like after I went through the course, I immediately took action, and that was probably like the best decision of my life. I mean, the first best decision. But after this, I launched my agency with realtors. Was kind of doing like random stuff, to be honest with you, just trying to figure stuff out, outreach, sucking at sales calls, etc. It was just like a bit of a shit show. But after this, like I was kind of out of money for a while because I was just fueling the agency with my internship capital, okay, my internship savings, which was a bit hard. And at some time, like I had just like exhausted like all my funds, so I wasn't able to pay like for softwares, etc. So I kind of just stopped. And then I paused it for a while, and then like my during my last internship, I started it again. Didn't see like much more results. Overall, I closed like 2 clients over like 8 months, about 8 months. And then at the end of my end of study internship, I was like, okay, I need to get very serious about this because now I'm gonna have like a salary, and I knew I needed like a mentor, etc. And so this is where like I reach out to you guys like Ethan and Josiah, and basically I joined the program. So in terms of my job, like to be honest with you, like I had always seen it as a means for me to get money and to be
Mm-hmm.
able to pay a mentor and just like fuel my agency as a whole, with softwares, outreach, VAs, etc. Like I always had like this plan from the day I started, even though like I wasn't like fully seeing results in the beginning. So just to set up a few expectations on what was my mindset like at that time.
Perfect. And you said a few interesting things because you said you've been trying it for 8 months, right? And then you signed two clients. But that was a second. So it seems like you tried it like 3 or 4 times, right? You tried it one time, and then it didn't work out, and then the funds got depleted, and then you tried it again, and then you signed two clients, and then you kind of had to like essentially have enough. Like, hey, things are not working as well as you used to. So I wanted to go through this whole period. Like, what were you doing? Were you like doing Facebook outreach? Were you doing email outreach? Like, how were you trying to get clients before joining and everything?
Yeah. So with the real estate agency, I was doing LinkedIn. To be honest with you, I was just doing LinkedIn, and I'm still doing this to this date. So you know, like the exact same account I was using back then is still the one that I'm using right now, which is quite funny. But basically, I was just doing like LinkedIn outreach. I had kind of a shit offer that I improved with time, and yeah, basically like I didn't get any results like for yeah, almost like 5 months, something like this. Then I closed like one client. Then, as I told you, like I kind of stopped the agency because I ran out of money. And then when I restarted it again during my end of study internship, I closed a second client. But like you know, I was struggling like so much to get sales calls and to close them. At some point, I was doing like SMS outreach. It was working like super well. I was using like one guy like that is you know, kind of a guru in the real estate marketing niche, and I was using his stuff, and basically it was just like super slow, and I knew I was doing something like wrong because people like didn't trust me, and didn't want to pay upfront. Like I just knew I was missing on something. I had like appointments at some point, um, but like I wasn't able to close them. And now, like with the retrospective, like I realized like all the mistakes I was making, you know, because I've learned with you guys like a lot of stuff right now. But yeah, back then I was kind of stuck. But I had the mindset, and I knew that I needed someone to basically get me to my goals.
Yeah, and a lot of people they have and they come from a lot of place like you, right? They're doing the work, or they feel like they're doing the work at the time, right? And as you said, you use LinkedIn, right? So it's not like LinkedIn was broken. It's not like anything was broken. It's
Yeah.
just the way that you were approaching it wasn't like conducive to the goal, right? Wasn't getting the results that you wanted. And I wanted to ask, like, was there like a tipping point when you realized, okay, now I actually need a mentor? I call it like the moment, right? Where like there's a moment in time where you just like got up and like, it's time to actually take action and look at different kind of outsource help, right? To help me out with this problem.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I've never had like this moment because I was always like convinced that I needed this. I'm really not a guy that really procrastinates on these kind of decisions, etc. And as I told you, like from the day like I entered like this whole space, as I told you, you know, Iman Gadzhi, Charlie Morgan, all these guys, like I knew that I needed like to take risks, etc. And I had basically like nothing to lose because I was broke, right? In all cases, like I was broke. So I never like had like any doubts about this. I was just like, okay, I need to find someone that is trustworthy enough and that knows what they're doing and that is really gonna help me. Because like I hated course, I didn't want a course at all. I wanted like, you know, mentorship and really someone that understands where I'm at and what I need to get to. So yeah, for me it was just like gather the money, right? It was really just about this. Like I was like, you know, I need to get a job fast, and I took a job that I didn't even want, to be honest. Like even though it was in my niche, but like I was just like I knew I just needed this job until I make enough money with the agency, and then quit that. Like it was very clear in my mind.
Fantastic. And you said like you didn't want a course, but you wanted a mentorship. Can you expand on that? Like, how do you feel like us, Agency Advance at AGP, kind of helped you with the mentorship side as well as giving you the right information?
Yeah. So I mean, like again, like all of us, like we've been through some courses when we just started, and we all realized that you know once we had the course and we started taking action, that there was like ramifications of like 1,000 problems for from the one action that we took, and I think everyone can relate to this, and this is why like it's so important like to for me like to have like mentorship for these first steps of the journey, because like you when you have the course you're like, oh, it covers everything, it's super powerful, etc. But like one, most of them are not that in depth, like they're very generic, they don't actually give you actionable steps and templates and all that stuff and examples, real life examples. And second, you don't get the support from someone, because like you can take action on one thing and then you have like multiple problems that arise, and you need actual help from them, like live help. So that's like the biggest difference. And also like just in terms of working with someone that is like two, three, four steps ahead of you, and that is like, okay, don't walk there, this is crap, don't do this, don't do that. And for you guys, obviously it was like super simple, because you knew like the journey I was in at that time, and it was super easy for you like to redirect me. And this is, I would say, like the big value that mentorships have. It's just that you just have like to take action on things, and like you will be guided like in the right towards the right way, if that makes sense. So for me, that's like a huge difference, and that's why I think that courses are really good, like just to get you into the thing. So for me, it was like, okay, now I'm getting interested in SMMA and online business as general rule. But like then once you know like the basics, kind of like a niche, you need an offer, you need to send outreach. Now you need like to get into the real stuff, and this is where I think like you need to find a mentor.
100%. And correct me if I'm wrong, Abdi, like the first 2 3 months you joined every single call. I don't think there's been a call that you've missed for the first 3 or 4 months. Like I remember you being as
Yeah.
active as possible. How did the call really help you? When I know you said like dodging a few things, but how do you feel like the call helped you kind of like with the mindset and the paradigm shift that you
Yeah,
had?
yeah. So definitely the calls were like the best stuff I was doing like in the beginning, because in the beginning like nothing, nothing, like you're not gonna get like 10 appointments a day in the beginning. So like the highest value thing that you need to do is just to like attend the call and get as much feedback as possible. So yeah, as you said, like I was like almost like 4 months, to be honest. Like it was until like April. I was attending every single one of these, and the main thing that it helped me with is just like first getting clarity, because like obviously you guys have done it, etc. So in your mind it's like, yeah, it's simple, just post content daily and send outreach, and here's how you create the offer, here's the framework, if it doesn't work, test this. Like for you guys it was very clear, and like the coaching calls really helped me like have clarity on this. And also another thing that I told Ethan as well, is just like seeing like other people that are killing it in the group. um, I mean, everyone is different, right? So maybe some guys might be like demotivated seeing Joe making 30K a month, whatever. But for me, like it was just like, okay, like this guy, he's killing it, and he's been just taking action on whatever you guys teach us and show us, and it's not impossible. And it was just like seeing in front of me like the one of the goals that I had actualized like in real life. It was like just psychologically it does something to you, to be honest, because you're like, okay, this is doable. Like this guy has two hands, two legs, just like me. It's gonna work.
100%. And even to add on to that, I think every time you leave a coaching call, you're like, oh, that's a new level of standard,
Yeah.
right? So it ups your standard. And you got to a point, because you post all along on LinkedIn that you were booking like crazy amount of appointments in a week. I remember your calendar being filled up for 1 2 weeks in advance, right?
Yeah.
And can you walk us through kind of like what systems that we helped you implement to kind of get that end result of like a full calendar? Like what system did you implement primarily?
Yeah, so basically it was really about like having like a content based like strategy. So this was like the biggest like the real game changer for me. So basically, and this is why like most people, I think, like they don't even get to this point, is because they want to see the results of the effort they're putting in right now. And that, like, again, like if you're running something like organic, you're not running ads, etc., it's just not going to happen. Like you're going to build like this snowball effect, kind of compound effect over time. So this is why like it's so important, again, like to just take action on the things that will work, but like be very patient with this. So that was like the main thing for me. I started like posting content, value-based content, like literally me, like videos of me sharing my screen and just talking about a specific topic that is obviously related to my service, and that is a pain point for my niche. So these are like the two conditions if you wanna record these kinds of videos. and then you just have like unlimited ideas because my niche was like me. So in a sense, so I knew like the problems, and I was just like recording videos. At some point, I was doing them like every day. But like just if you do it like regularly, not necessarily every day, you're gonna start seeing like more results for your outreach efforts. I was just doing like LinkedIn DM and Facebook DM, and I was posting the exact same content on LinkedIn and Facebook, and like there was like a huge difference between like the same script like used without having content on your feed, and with when you had like content on your feed, had completely different impact, because people obviously like when you DM them, like they're gonna check out your profile. If you look like a you look like a high schooler, a bit lost, etc., like it's just not gonna convert, and it's normal. And that doesn't mean that LinkedIn DM doesn't work. It just means that you don't look knowledgeable, and you don't look like an authority, and you just have to accept this, because like yourself would probably never had bought from someone that had this kind of profile, if that makes sense. And that's funny because people like don't realize that people they buy from, etc., like they saw them on YouTube, they saw them on Instagram, etc. They've never like wired 3K to a guy that cold DM them with an empty profile. It just never happens. So you might as well like act accordingly, and start posting this. And after like a few weeks, like I started getting this momentum, and just like I had like a lot better conversions. My LinkedIn obviously started growing more, and yeah, and now I can just like book super easily these appointments without paying for ads at all. It's at least like 1 to 3 bookings a day just from LinkedIn, and just with like 2 accounts, which is more than enough that I need.
Perfect. And if anyone doesn't know, like what you said makes so much sense because people come into programs or come into the game and they think that it's just a quick win. But
Yep.
what I see majority of the times, yes, there's the anomalies. Like let's say me and Ethan up that scaled the agency to 90K in 50K in 90 days. Well, we went crazy. But majority of the times it happens like yours. Like let me guess, your revenue was probably stuck at a certain level, and then after 3 or 4 months, then it went up, right, like an
Yeah.
exponential curve, and then that's what you stuck right. Is that what happened usually? Because
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I mean, like I started seeing results like quite fast. I
yeah,
mean, there's a bunch of stuff to be discussed because obviously, like I had also like limitation just in terms of, I mean, limiting beliefs. I mean, just in terms of pricing high and all that stuff. But I had like results fairly quickly. Like I think after like less than 45 days, I like closed my first client, or like even less than a month. Obviously, like it was like 750 euros or something like this, a setup, and then pay per booking. But like it was a result, right? Like 'cause you cannot just start charging 5K. This is again like people are trying to sell you a dream. Like you need to start step by step and learn things. But like then I was able like to get to between 1 to 1.5K every month. So every one a month I was closing like 1 or 2 clients, but like low ticket. And then after a point, like I was just like, and I discussed this with you guys. I was like, I can charge more. And I was discussing with like other guys in the group, like Josh, etc. And I was like, they're doing the same stuff as me. I'm selling it for 1K, and Josh is selling for like 5K or whatever. I was like, how is that possible? And so I had a call actually with him as well, which is another advantage of being in a community, etc. I like he just told me, here's the difference between you and me, etc. And I was like, okay, basically the difference is like content and the amount of trust he's built with his audience, and he just looks like an expert. He has the case studies, etc. So we're doing the same service, but like he's charging like 5x what I'm charging, and he's closing more, which was like even more ironic, and and then I just like started working on this, and with the content, it started to kick in, etc. I increased my prices and all that stuff, and like really like the big turning point for me was like when I closed this client at like 3K upfront, and this was like the game changer. Like for in my mind, it was like, okay, this guy really just wired me like 3K after, and it was one cold close, and I had, just like some content at that time. Like it wasn't like just at the point where I am right now, and it just worked. And so at that time, it was very clear to me that it was really really possible, because I knew it was possible because I was seeing you guys doing it. But like when you do it yourself, like uh, it's a whole other level of like confidence and trust into this. So from there on, then it was like minimum. Then I was doing like I did my first month at like 5K. After it was like around May or April, May. And then from there, I did like a bit of a yo-yo. Like I did like five, and then the month after I did like eight, and then like six or five and a half. But like basically, if you took like a timeline big enough, like I was doing this, right? Like the progress was linear, like globally, but like locally, it was a bit of a sinusoid,
Zigzag. Yeah.
right? So that really what happens, and then it just got like better and better. Last month, did like over like 12K in dollars, because I charge in euros, and yeah, and now like I know that even though like I don't necessarily like do like 12, 14, 15, etc. I know that overall, like over like 2 months, it's gonna be like this, right? Now it's just a matter of stabilizing it.
Perfect. And you and your story is very particular because your story is where a lot of people that are stuck in the 9 to 5 want to be, right? They want to escape that. And I know you quit your job as well, didn't you? You went
Yeah,
have you gone
after
yeah, you
month
went
4.
yeah, month 4. Can you talk me through like how that felt like giving the resignation letter to the boss? Like how did that feel like that moment when you're like I'm all into the agency and you don't have that chain
Yeah,
on you?
yeah. So yeah, like when I left the job, like it was, slightly scary, because like you know, it's gonna feel weird, because again, like especially like if you're a guy like me, like I've done the kind of classic prestigious route in terms of my studies in France. Like we have a very specific system, and it's all about academics, and all these people. They're like, oh, you've done this school, this school, this school, but like you end up like earning 3K a month or 2K a month, even with the top school. So it's really like it was really um, you know weird, because like no one like around you really trusts this, to be honest. And I knew it. I knew it already, so I wasn't talking about this to really anyone. And at some point, I was talking to my parents about this. I told them, hey, like I'm making this and that amount of money, and obviously their first reaction was like, oh, it's not reliable. Like you just got lucky, in a sense. I mean, it was like it came from a good intention. They're like, I want you to be safe, etc. But it's like people don't really believe in this, and that's like the main thing I wanna I wanna insist on, especially in France. Like if you guys are from the US watching this, for example, like it's a very different mindset. Like we have a relationship with money which is a bit weird. Like we don't like people here. All the wages are like very centered around the average value, right? So to give you like specific numbers, like if you earn more than 8K a month, you're in the top 2% of the country, which is which is ridiculous, because guys in the US, for example, a standard engineer, a normal engineer earns like 6 figures a year. It's not something like crazy, but in France, like it's very weird. Like it's very centered around the mean value, if that makes sense. And so basically, when you start earning a lot of money, people like have this weird vision of you. Again, I'm talking about the average French guy, right?
Yeah.
Like there are entrepreneurs out there, there are millionaires, obviously, but like most people, like if you come across someone in the street, right? Like they're gonna earn like anywhere between 1,500 to 2.5K, like 80% of the time, right? If they're not unemployed. And what happens is that everyone around you like doesn't really believe in this, to be honest. So this is where like mindset and the group, the fact that you're in a group, right, with Josiah, etc. Like you will feel like you're not you're with people that have the same mindset as you, and you need to like spend more time with them. Okay. And this is why like the also like being on the coaching calls, aside from all the methods, etc., like just psychologically convincing your brain that this is possible. This is just like a set amount of inputs that will give you the right outputs at a specific time, right? If you give it enough patience, etc. So this one like was very very weird, like a bit scary, etc. But like then I just started seeing progress, and the more you see progress, obviously your brain is gonna adapt to this and be like, okay, it's not that scary actually. Like we're making money, we're fine, we're even earning more than in the 9 to 5, etc. It's just that you have to create this, like to trigger this money earning, unlike your 9 to 5.
Perfect. So you went from like earning like a normal wage to being paid what, more than the top 2% of your country?
Yeah,
Like,
now it's probably like 0.5%, something like this, for
and
the last month, for example.
and if you went the normal route, you would have to go to like a proper another engineering school, then work up, get a promotion, and then X
No, it's
Y Z
not even
X Y Z.
possible. I'll be honest. Yeah, I'll be honest. Like there are niches where you earn a lot of money. So for example, quantitative finance and all that stuff. So I was aiming for these kind of positions because I've done like masters in math. So it was kind of the sexy path if you wanted to make a lot of money. But these guys like uh, the the quality of life is pretty poor, right? Like
Hmm.
they do like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, still working for another guy at the end of the day, but they earn a lot of money. But just the amount of stress and the quality of life, like it's just not worth it. And I feel like this is like the choice that you gotta make when you work a 9 to 5. It's either you're a slave to someone and you don't really have a good quality of life, but you're rich, or you have a decent quality of life, like you can finish work at like 4 p.m 5 p.m, and it's pretty cool, but like you don't have the money, so you cannot sustain the lifestyle that you're dreaming of. So I feel like these are like the two only options. So if you want to get super rich, you have to sacrifice the quality of life, which is obviously what I don't want.
Perfect. And obviously, like, because now it's different. I know you've just recently came back from holiday, right? Like, can you walk me through how that experience is like? Because it's like an entrepreneurship dream, like
Yeah,
especially if they had a 9 to 5, to leave the 9 to 5, quit their job, and then use the money to go on holiday and still make money while being on
yeah,
holiday.
yeah.
Like not like the whole bank account's gone on freeze and you're looking at your bank account. You're actually making money while you're on holiday. So can you walk us through that experience? Like how was that?
Yeah, yeah, actually it was like amazing. So and this is actually what happened. Like I received like a 1,500 euro Stripe notification was like while I was waking up, and it was like you realize that you're you're consuming like the money that you've been earning, but like it's just gonna come like when basically you get the right outputs. So that means that in the 9 to 5, for example, you have to wait like every end of the month to get the money. And like as an entrepreneur, like you can literally like just make money like at any time, at any day, depending on how efficient your system is. So again, like it's a bit of a mindset shift, and it was like my first holiday for like a whole year of grinding for the 9 to 5, and then starting the agency with you guys, etc. So it was a bit of a weird year, and yeah, like that was like amazing. I was like with other entrepreneurs that I met in the meantime, and we just like rented this huge penthouse in south of Spain. It was like super super cool. um, and yeah, like I think like this is like what a lot of people like dream of, but like they just have to understand that like you need to earn this in a sense. Like you gotta put in the work. You gotta do like the weeks and month of outreach that get not that much responses, and content that get like 30 impressions on LinkedIn. Like
Yeah.
this is where like the job is done actually. Like this is not towards the end where you start getting motion and everything just starts compounding. This is where you need to and this is why like having a mentor in these times like is super super powerful, because they'll be like, Don't worry, like it's a pretty pretty crap period for you right now. It's gonna be hard, but just keep pushing and it's gonna work out."
100%. And you've never quit. Like, I think you've always showed up every single day, LinkedIn, like DMs every single day. And
Yeah.
okay, and then with that being said, like, let's say there's someone out there, right, that is thinking about joining us, thinking about investing into themselves, right, and they're just on the fence. What would you say to a person like that? Let's say Abdi back in the day when if he was on the fence, or if not, if this would be like one of the best investments of their life. What would you say to them?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like full transparency, like this is like so far in my journey, this is like the best investment I've made. Again, like for me, like to recap this, like Iman Gadzi, like kind of allowed me to enter this space. Like I was like, okay, it's possible to make money online, but you guys like really helped me actualize this. Like, okay, now I'm making money online and I have a business and I can see where I can be. Like, and it's just a matter of me putting in the work. So if someone is hesitating again, like they can DM me on LinkedIn or whatever, and I, give them a voice note, like full transparency. I'm not a paid actor. It was just like the best investment I've made for me at that time of my life, and like the ROI, it's through the roof, and it's gonna keep increasing obviously after a few months. Because once you build this, like no one can take it from you, and that's what you guys need to understand. Like these skills, like even though let's say my business get issues whatever, I'm gonna be pissed off and all that, I need to create another one. But to be honest, like I don't really care that much, because I know that in a matter of a few weeks, a few months, like I have these skills, so they have, I don't know, like to destroy my brain or something to remove them from me. And so you guys need to think about this, just like that. Like you are gonna acquire skills, and these skills like are gonna help you like build like amazing stuff. Like this is like just the beginning. The agency business like is a very simple beginner friendly business. You guys like can build like a lot crazier stuff in the future. And right now, like I still like need a ton of stuff like to learn, whether it's with service delivery, for example, which is my main black like dark spot. I'm just like probably doing like 10% or 5% of what's possible, and I'm already getting like super good results. So yeah, just take action on this.
Perfect. And we talk about the next. Let's talk about the next kind of 3 to 6 months. Like now, it seems like you've solved the problem of lead generation. You solved the problem of acquisition. You know how to acquire clients, right?
Yeah.
And then, as you said, now the just getting the service delivery down, which we're helping you with at the moment. But where do you see these agency going in the next 6 to 12 months? Like from all the skills that you've learned and everything.
Yeah, that's a good question. So like Ethan asked me the same, and like I've noticed like a kind of a trend lately. So
Mm-hmm.
basically what happened is that the last few clients I've got, like two or three of them, like they actually asked me like just to help them, like to kind of coach them. And so I discussed it with Ethan, and he he told me that this is something that can happen just because like when you speak like in a way that is kind of convincing, and like people kind of just like you. And for me, like this is literally what happened. People like that are consuming my videos on LinkedIn, they're and I've sent them like a cool DM with my VA, right? And they're just like, they come on the call, they're like, I like what you say, etc. I would just like you like to help me implement this, and literally like closing themselves without me having to pitch them. And I pitched the done for you offer, but like right now I've closed like two guys that were like, I'd like you to help me with this. And so like I just made up like an offer on the spot. I was like, hey, it's 1,500 for 2 months, and I just sold it like this. So I would say like in the future, maybe like transitioning, like once I really get clarity on the service delivery, because obviously like I was going like a bit broad in the beginning, so I wasn't like super targeted on the marketing agencies, which is fine if you guys like are going through this. Like you're gonna figure things out along the way and gain skills along the way, so it's fine. But yeah, like just service delivery, and probably like starting to transition in a more of a done with you thing. Because another funny thing is that they're happier than some done for you clients, which is actually crazy. Like I'm helping them, they're doing it themselves, and like they're happier, and I see them like continuing with me, etc. So that would be like really the next step for me. Probably transitioning to the French market, because there was a guy that I closed in the French market, and like using your stuff, guys, and bringing it to the French market, trying to take over. So that's really like the next step for me, coaching and focusing on the French market.
Perfect. And now you've got LinkedIn ripping like there's no tomorrow. And I think last call we gave you the roadmap on how to scale on LinkedIn. So you know how to get the accounts, you know how to scale on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a matter of just pressing a button at this point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Pressing a button and get into that. So to be honest, I have no doubt that you won't be able to get to at least 30, 50K in the next 3 to 6 months. Like you got everything that's needed and stuff, and probably just some hiring and stuff that we need to do in the back
Yeah.
end. But from that, like that's all it from me. Is there any other last thoughts, or where should they find you if they want to find Abdi? Where should they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn. I'm posting very regularly at Abdi channel, as you can see on the screen. And for the French guys out there, there's my IG as well. So I post like value-based content as usual, and it's more again like for the French market. And I also have like a YouTube in French as well. So I'm really trying like to focus on this market more and more. But yeah, basically I just post like everything I've learned from growing an agency, and I give like actionable steps that you can take to see improvements.
Perfect, man. Oui. So that's all it from this interview. Thank you so much, Abdi, for your time,
Thank you, man.
and look forward to seeing the success, man. You're killing it. One of the
Likewise,
top,
man.
one of the first cohort that's killing it, man. Keep going, and guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.